When Malawi became independent in 1964 from the British, there was expectations from the people of the new Malawi. Self-government would be the order of the day. Self-determination, self-reliance, which would translate into self-respect. This achievement would mean independence in its true sense. Even then, as today, there were critics that condemned Malawi and relegated it as a poor country. Our independence came at a very high price. For the purpose of history, let us remind ourselves of that day and what His Excellency, the State President of that time, Kamuzu Banda, had said on the day of independence.
Come back home to break their stupid federation and to give you, my people, the Africans of this country, your own government and independence. Come back.
Independence does not mean money will rain on our heads and shoulders like manna from heaven, I've said. It means hard work. Hard work in the field. With exit. With the force.
Our skeptics, including some citizens of Nyasaland and the British press of the day, asked Kamuzu the following questions.
Dr. Banda, what is the purpose of your visit?
Well, I've been asked by the Secretary of State to come here.
Have you come here to ask the Secretary of State a firm date for Nyasaland's independence?
I won't tell you that.
When do you hope to get independence?
I won't tell you that.
Dr. Banda, when you get independence, are you as determined as ever to break away from the Central African Federation?
Need you ask me that question at this stage?
Well, this stage is as good as any other stage. Why do you ask me why I shouldn't ask you this question at this stage?
Haven't I said that enough for everybody to be convinced that I mean just that?
Dr. Banda, if you break with the Central African Federation, how will you make out economically? Your country isn't really a rich country, is it?
Don't ask me that. Let's leave that to me.
But which way is your mind working?
Which way? I won't tell you that.
Where do you hope to get economic aid from?
I won't tell you that.
Are you going to tell me anything?
Nothing.
Are you going to tell me why you've been to Portugal?
That's my business.
In fact, you're going to tell me nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
So it's a singularly fruitless interview.
Where are you going to get economic aid from?
Where do you hope to get economic aid from?
I won't tell you that.
How does your mind work? Why have you been to Portugal? That was the tone of the day, quite condescending. When Kamuzu wanted to build a university, he was discouraged. Where would we be if he did not build the University of Malawi at that time? Let us hear, in his own words, the views of Kamuzu.
Advice. The so-called expert advice. The supposed expertise of the officials. We would not have the University of Malawi. I was bitterly attacked by the officials when I was talking about establishing the University of Malawi. And this attack came to the top officials. At that time, we had here a title called Secretaryship for African Affairs. The man who was Secretary for African Affairs at the time bitterly attacked me in public. Oh, he does not know what he's talking about. Establishing a university in this country, nonsense. That was an official. I overruled the official. Flashed the University of Malawi down the throat of the official.
The DPP government recognized the role Kamuzu played and his vision for Malawi. And it was our president, His Excellency Professor Dr. Bingu Mtalika, that restored the name Kamuzu to all iconic structures and built his final resting place.
Misewu, mirato, zinthu zambirimbiri zimene achita. Chimodzimodzinso masukulu, Mpemba Law School anamanga ndani, Blantyre Polytechnic anamanga ndani, Bunda College anamanga ndani, Natural Resources College anamanga ndani, Kamuzu College of Nursing anamanga ndani, Kamuzu School of Medicine Blantyre anamanga ndani. Zambiri. Ndiye chifukwa chake nkhani ja yomanga nyumba yonkumbukira manda okumbukira ndifuna tikutsimikizireni kuti ngakhale zipange bwanji chaka chino mvula ikangotha tikuyamba kukumba maziko amene aja kuti timpangire nyumba ya ulemu.
It was the DPP government and the leadership of His Excellency Professor Dr. Bingu wa Mutharika that provided the final resting place befitting a head of state, bearing in mind that the Kamuzu had died in 1997. It took the DPP government and the presidency to address this abnormality. It has been very important to look at the history of where we came from and also witness some of the challenges Kamuzu Banda, the president of Malawi of that time, was going through. DPP government has always maintained that Malawi is not a poor country, but the people of Malawi may be poor. Our colonial masters would pose a question of how are we going to transform this country if we don't get their support. The question we should pose to ourselves as Malawians is how are we going to transform our country using our own resources, our own intuition, and our own intelligence. This is our country, our piece of heaven on earth, a nation blessed with abundant beauty and resources. God gave us the main resource of life, the abundant water. Today, our lake is regarded as one of the 12 best lakes in the world. Our natural resources are untapped and therefore provide an abundance of opportunity. Our topography and geographical location makes us one of the best destinations to visit. Our country surely is one of the most beautiful countries on God's earth. It is now time that all patriotic Malawians looked within ourselves to transform this beautiful country to a place we like to call home. A place that can provide laughter and joy and prosperity for our children and their children to come. Peace and tranquility that the people of Malawi have achieved, in line with the support of its government, the DPP, provide a perfect forum to develop this nation. What is now required is for us as a nation to join together to develop Malawi and continuously support the government that provides leadership, a government that provides direction, and most of all, a government that provides sound and economic policies for the betterment of this nation. That government is the DPP government. That government is the Democratic Progressive Party, a party with its government that has reduced poverty. The poverty head count has fallen from 52% to 39% in the last 6 years, linked closely to the increase in economic growth over the period. Malawi has made tremendous progress and is now known as the economic miracle. We are now also known as the breadbasket of the region and even the continent. All these great achievements are our achievements as a result of the wise leadership of our government. Whilst we accept that there are many challenges that still have to be overcome, we believe these challenges can be overcome using homegrown policies and the support of all of us as one nation. And these challenges will be overcome by Malawians, and only Malawians themselves can overcome these challenges. It is very evident and clear that the DPP government has continued that progress and has transformed Malawi from a nation that is rising to a nation that has risen. It stands for a nation that is willing to stand on its own 2 feet. The rising sun on our old flag is a thing of the past. Our new flag says it all. We now invite you to listen to our story, which is indeed your story.